Hello, my friends. Let's learn about more places to visit in Montana. Today, we will talk about ghost towns. Ghost towns are located all around the state of Montana. And maybe you are thinking, Joanna, ghost? A ghost town? Here is a ghost. Now, this is not exactly what a ghost town is, so let's learn more. Here are two examples of ghost towns. The first picture is in Bannock, Montana. The second picture is in Granite, Montana. What are they? What are ghost towns? Well, in the late 19th century, many people came to Montana in hopes of striking it rich by mining for gold, silver, and other precious metals. Towns were settled all over the state to accommodate these mining operations. Over time, some of these towns were abandoned when mining there was no longer profitable. These abandoned towns are known as ghost towns. The buildings are still there, but people no longer live there. In some cases, these buildings are more than 100 years old, and they are falling apart because people do not live there anymore. Let's discuss locations. There are over 100 ghost towns in the state, but here are some recommendations. First, Bannock State Park. Bannock State Park is between Polaris, Montana and Dillon, Montana. Next, Granite Ghost Town State Park is near Phillipsburg, Montana. And then the town of Coolidge. Coolidge is near Polaris, Montana. Let's start with Bannock. Gold was discovered in the area around 1862. The town grew and grew and even briefly became the first capital of the Montana Territory in 1864. You can visit an old school, hotel, bar, church, and more. At its height, Bannock had 10,000 residents. Here you can see the inside of the school of Bannock. Next, Coolidge. Silver was discovered in the area in 1872, and people began to flock to the area. This town once had the largest mill in Montana. A mill is a type of factory that processes raw materials like silver. So here is the old mill. You can walk above it, you can walk under it now. Next, we have Granite. Granite was a silver mine that operated from 1882 to 1893. You can still see many large buildings left from the silver boom here. Some tips, some suggestions before you go. First, be safe. Read all of the signs and always watch your step. These areas are not regulated sometimes, so it's very important to read the signs and be careful. Here is another example of a sign in Granite. Next, plan your route before you go because some ghost towns are difficult to get to. This means the roads are not always paved, and sometimes they are in more wild areas. So just plan your route. And finally, be prepared for any wildlife you may encounter. Some of this wildlife is dangerous, like bears. Others, like the butterflies, are not dangerous, but we should still respect their homes. These areas are largely abandoned by humans, so many animals have moved back into these areas. Some ghost towns are located in these isolated forested areas, so just be prepared and be respectful of the wildlife. It's important to look at more information before you go. Visit the websites for directions, more pictures, events, and more. In the summer, Bannock has events where people dress in old clothing and you can walk through the town and learn with guided tours. Here is the website for Bannock. Here is the website for Granite. Again, for Granite, it's very important to learn the route to get there before you go. And finally, here is one of many websites to learn more about Coolidge. My friends, as always, please share your questions about ghost towns if you have them. Practice, practice, and never give up.